everybody, my name is Ryan. I'm a volunteer here at the Museum of the American G.I. Today we're going to be talking about tanks. This is the FT-17, manufactured by Renault in France. This was the first U.S. tank that we used. Going into World War I, the U.S. did not have any tanks of their own, so we bought a lot from the French, and we were also slated to buy some from the British as well, but those contracts didn't really go through, so we primarily used the French tank. It was the first modern tank in that it had an engine in the rear and a fully 360-degree rotating turret. Let's take a closer look at it. So in here you can see it has wooden road wheels. These were easier to produce at the time compared to solid metal. Some people identified it as a weak point due to machine gun fire being able to chew up the wooden wheels a little bit easier than, say, metal, but due to manufacturing practices at the time, they didn't really have anything that could make something that big in large quantities. Let's go ahead and look on the inside. So you see this little slit here. This is one of the driver's vision ports. You had one in the front as well as some on the sides here. You can also see this one up here. This one is just a fake painted on one. They put these on here, the fake ones, to sort of distract from the real ones. So that's why the real ones are kind of more blended in paint-wise. They're a little bit more camouflaged so that the enemy snipers wouldn't try to shoot at those. Due to the bullets being lead, if they were hit these, it hit lead spalling on the inside and could basically blind whoever was driving the vehicle. Open her up. All right. So this would have had a crew of two. In the back there, you have this little leather sling. That's where the tank commander / gunner would have sat. In the front here, you have a seat for the driver. In the driver's compartment here, you have kind of your typical, I guess, more tractor-based controls of the time. So you have your clutch, brake, and accelerator pedals. You have your tool roll, some wire cutters, gear shift. But the top speed was about 5 miles an hour, and that was downhill with a tailwind. So these things did not go very quickly. In order to steer it, you'll notice there's no steering wheel. So it had these levers. These levers would each correspond to one of the tracks. So if you wanted to turn left, you pull on the left stick, it would brake this track, and you'd kind of keep chugging along on the right track and turn. Same thing on the opposite side. If you wanted to turn right, pull the right stick. If you wanted to stop, pull both. In this tank, it is very loud, and so the driver and tank commander had a very hard time communicating. So they came up with a system that was very easy to use. Whenever the tank commander wanted the driver to go left, he'd kick him in the left shoulder. Whenever he wanted him to go right, kick him in the right shoulder. Whenever he wanted him to stop, kick him in the center of the back. It was the easiest way to communicate. Since it was so loud in there, they had a hard time hearing each other. Let's go ahead and we'll go up to the turret and see what's inside there. All right, so here's the 37mm round that the tank fires. You'll notice it's kind of small in stature. It wasn't designed for tank-on-tank combat. It was primarily designed as an infantry support round to take out machine gun bunkers and stuff like that. More as an infantry support rather than tank-on-tank combat like we know today. So inside here, we have a couple of different things. This up top here is called a cupola. There's a couple of vision slits around it. You can see one here where the tank commander can look out. You have the gun. You have a little shoulder stock here. It's wrapped in leather, so the gunner would just stick his shoulder up in there. He's got his telescope here. Plenty of ammo in the turret as well as below. You can see there's a ton of rack space for a lot of ammo. So they could expend a lot of rounds during that time. You can see these little, hard to describe what kind of shape they are, but these pieces, you'd kind of fit your hips into them in order to turn the turret, because this turret didn't have any gears. It just sat on ball bearings. So in order to turn it, you would just use your body weight. So I'll try to demonstrate that a little bit. It's harder to do it on the outside. So it kind of just spins back and forth on these ball bearings. It's really a lot easier when you have your hips in there to get the weight. I guess you don't want to go back. There we go. And so you have your turret lock in there whenever you're ready to lock it in place for travel and long periods of time. And yeah, that's just about it for the turret. As you can see, there's tools kind of around the vehicle, just in different places. Anything that they would have wanted to take with them, they would have had to carry on the vehicle. So other tools, jacks, chain, stuff like that. Any spare parts you'd have to keep either in the vehicle or on the vehicle. So the easiest way to do that would just strap them to the side and keep them handy. So that's it for our FT17 walk around. We'll be coming back at you a couple times today with a bunch of our other vehicles. So looking forward to seeing them then.